Hello, greetings from Washington, D.C. This time we are seeing and going to know something about how the COVID-19 pandemic is associated with classroom performance. The study was done in Washington, D.C. using Washington, D.C. Special Education 6th-8 graders as sample population using the public and charter schools. The study intended to predict the relationship between the pandemic, the pre-pandemic, pandemic period, post-pandemic, and performance in classes by students with emotional disorders. Let's see what we found out. This study delved in identifying what are known as special education level needs. From 2013 to 2024, the idea is to trace as far back as possible pre-pandemic special education level needs, pandemic special education level needs, and post-pandemic special education level needs. We want to see what and how the pandemic, or the period known as the pre-pandemic and post-pandemic period, influenced special education level needs. As we see, this study identified the period 2013 to 2024, and there were 143,543 special education level needs which were addressed in the form of interventions. The lowest of the needs were experienced and were 1,143, whereas the highest were in 2024, which were 7,202. The standard deviation was 1,492.704. This paper defines special education needs as the emotional disorders faced by special education students. Examples of SPED needs or emotional disorders are difficult seeing print, difficult following instructions, difficult staying on task, anxiety, depression, ADHD, autism, spectrum, and cerebral palsy. SPED level. By SPED level is meant the hours associated and allocated for each intervention to address a need so that a SPED student remains in school to achieve education levels. Now, the method we use to predict the association between SPED levels across the years from 2013 to 2024 was we did a qualitative analysis using SPSS to find out the relationship between SPED levels and pre-pandemic, pandemic, and post-pandemic period. How did we analyze the data? Well, we did an extensive data analysis which gave us an extensive output. But briefly, what came out, the output shows that there is a positive and linear relationship between SPED level needs and the years, across the years. The spread of the data along the line is similar. The minimum and maximum residual are within negative 3.29 and positive 3.29. There are no outliers. The assumption of independence of observations is met because the Durbin-Watson static is between 1 and 3. Now, in conclusion, what our study found out is that whereas there is a relationship between expressed needs across the years from 2013 to 24, schools did a tremendous service in providing timely and early services, interventions for the students to reverse negative effect. Therefore, schools can be tapped to provide early and timely services that reverse the negative effect of emotional disabilities. One of our references is a document from the Office of Superintendent of Education under their project known as the EdScape or Educationscape, the Landscape. The title of the document is School Enrollment by Special Populations. This document is a treasure trove. It has the data set, it has the information, but because we also needed to do qualitative analysis as well as quantitative analysis, we also delved in analyzing other documents, but this one was central to our work. Thank you very much for being with me, and I hope this presentation will enable you to understand how we try to use public health AP methods to add to the literature that looks into how schools provide safe spaces for children with learning disabilities as well as intellectual disabilities. This document is one of those that can be used to inform policy, programming, and planning so that schools can even become safer spaces and better learning spaces, not only for students with emotional disorders, but all students as a whole person. Thank you very much, and thank you so much to my professor, Professor Danawi, and the rest of the students. Thank you.